107.5 GCI, the Shine's #1 for hip hop and R&B. We are the Chicago Morning Takeover. Myself, Kyle the 5-footer, Kendra G, Leon Rodgers.
Yeah,
and
man.
you got some guests in the studio today, man. This is a pleasure to have both of these guests here.
Bar spitters.
Off top. Hey, Chicago, Remy Miles in the building.
Good
What's
morning.
happening?
Good morning.
Black
How's
Girl
everybody
Magic.
doing?
Yeah. And we know you don't make no moves without your husband in the building, man. And also a super bar spitter.
The alphabet
Papoose.
killer.
What's up? What's going on?
Yeah, no question. How y'all feeling?
I'm
Chilling.
good. I'm enjoying life right now. I can't really complain about not much.
Even when you say that, it's kind of like you can see you have a smile on your face.
Like, nah, I'm chilling. Like, it could be horrible right now. It's not. Like, it's actually really good. You know, you just wake up and you think of all the things that's wrong. I be waking up like, I ran out of milk.
Well, you know, I want to talk about,
Can't
Remy
find my
was
keys.
in town over the weekend for the Black Women's Expo, and you know, this girl is so snatched. Like, your body
Thank
right now,
you.
Remy, like, you have to tell us, what did you do? Because we need to do it. I want to be as
We need
skinny
to do
as
it.
Remy.
Well, you know, I eat a lot of broiled air, you know. Seriously. I stopped eating meat about 9 months ago.
Do you do fish?
Sometimes,
Okay.
not as much because
No chicken either?
no chicken, no turkey, no beef, none of that. Nope. So it's been since last summer. So when people be like, oh my God, it was so fast. I'm like, bruh, I haven't had a cheeseburger since August. It's not been fast. Like, it's been a long time. But I've been doing it for so long now, I really don't even miss it. The only thing, like, every now and then that, like, pulls my heartstrings is if I drive, like, past a Popeyes or something like that. That's my heart just bleeds a tad, like, you know, and I just patch it up. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go get me a fish fillet.
What made you make the change?
I was doing IVF with my husband. We were trying to have a baby, and one of the concerns that they have is, like, you know, they want you to have a stable weight and a healthy weight at that. So with me, my weight always goes up and down. Like, people be like, oh my God, you're so snatched. I was like, I was so snatched 2 years ago, and then I gained it all back. But so I was like, you know what can I do to stabilize my weight and not just stabilize it for now, like, keep it like that, because I'm tired of yo-yoing back and forth, up and down. And I was like, you know, what other better reason than to do it, not just to look good in your pictures, but for your unborn child. So, you know, that was my motivation, my goal. And I stopped thinking, I'm going to be on a diet, or I just was like, you know what, I'm just going to make a whole life change. And it was cool because my husband over there, he was like, I'll do it with you. He lasted about 48 hours.
48 hours, man.
Wait, Pat. You supported this woman when she was down for years, but you could only go 2 days on a diet with her.
Well, I have my own workout and my own way of staying in shape. So we got two different directions with that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I never really tried the 40. She did the 40-day reset one time, and some of that stuff ain't for me.
Now, he'll be with it like, you know what, babe? Because I'll be telling him, like, babe, while I'm working on changing my life, you can't be coming to the bed at 2 a.m. with Oreos. Like, like, you can't, like, dead serious. Like, our last name is Mackie. Bad Joe be like, oh, the snackies are here. Because he's like, you always got snacks. So I'm like, babe, you can't come with, like, 2 in the morning with the Cheetos or that, whatever. He's like, you know what, babe, you're right. I'm going to support you. And then it'll be like 2 days later, and we'll be driving past. I'd be like, what you think about White Castle? I'd be like, I think nothing about White Castle. Like, let's not go there. He'd be like, you know what? This diet is not for me. I work out very hard every day. I need calories. Just start flipping. I was like, you know what? Screw you, bro, okay? And then once I got past that hump, though, it was definitely easier.
Yeah. Remy Ma, Papoose in the building.
Yeah.
You said you made some of these changes in order for you guys to prepare for having a child of your own. And you were very public on Instagram with your support of Cardi coming out over the weekend. Would you, for the people that may not have seen what you posted on Instagram, could you elaborate on that a little bit?
It was just really heartfelt to me because as a female in the industry, I know how people perceive women and having children and getting pregnant, or even having just a relationship. Like, when me and my husband first was, you know, doing our whole Black love thing, you wasn't seeing couples saying that they were couples. You weren't seeing guys bringing a girl on the red carpet or girls posting a man on social media. Like, it was like, so when you said it was like, oh my God, they're together. Or, oh my, like, it became, now it's okay to do it. But I remember when I first started, like, you had to appear like you were always single, like you was never in a relationship. God forbid you got pregnant. Like people were really pressuring you to not have a child. Not right now. You have a tour coming up. Not right now. Your album's coming up. Not right now. Like it's always different reasons of why you shouldn't do it. And I feel like I'm sure with, you know, the success that she's having right now, people were on her head trying to tell her that she made the decision to do what she wanted to do for her. And it's so crazy because when she did it, it was some people that were supportive, but there was still people out there that how do you have something negative to say about somebody being with child? Like who are you to tell them when they should or when they shouldn't have a kid? And I just was like, yo, I was just proud of her. Like her first words after, she was like, you know, I'm finally free. Like that to me was like, yo, she really felt confined. She really felt like she was in prison because she couldn't even express her happiness. This is something that you're supposed to be happy about. You got to hide it every day. You got to keep it to yourself every day because people gonna always say something. And I was talking to my friends about it, and Moni Love, she sent me her video when I think it was 2000. She said when she did it was 2000. She did the Apollo. So she did the Apollo, and she was like huge pregnant, but I never saw it because I was probably a whole kid, but two, the way they were cutting the camera, they were purposely making. So I'll show it to you guys like when we go on break. They were cutting the camera so you purposely couldn't see it, and like she opened her jacket and it was like Moni really in the middle, like pointed at her stomach. I was like, wow, like so you don't really get to see that. And there's so many, especially female rappers. Like if you're an R&B singer, it's accepted a little bit more, but for like the rappers, it's like you never even know that they have children. So I just really commended her on that. And, you know, I'll probably be going through that phase of my own shortly if everything goes according to plan. And I'm just like, it's just going to be kind of hard to be sitting there saying, and I walk around the metal detectors and you got like this whole belly, but, you know, whatever. We'll see how it works out.
I'm trying to tell her she can do it. She always say that same line. I can't be walking around metal detectors pregnant. I was like,
it just looks
like,
weird. In my head, I'm picturing
like, y'all
in my
females,
head weird.
they give birth. You know what I mean? That's one of y'all amazing strengths. And I just feel like as artists, let the world see that.
No, but that's what you're saying because you're thinking from your own personal, I want my wife to have a kid perspective. So you're not really thinking about everything. The average person, sometimes even women, they feel like when you're pregnant or when you're having a child that you're handicapped. So endorsements that you may have had, people don't be like, okay, we want somebody to endorse our product, not somebody that's 9 months pregnant or 7 months pregnant, or you got a tour coming up. Is she gonna be able to make the tour? Is she gonna be sick? Is she gonna be like, these are the things that they start thinking like that, and they think that you can't do it. So you know it's crazy. If you look it up, it'll tell you. As long as you don't have a job where like you're around chemicals and stuff like that, you could probably work up until a week before your due date. Right. But people don't see it like that. So we have to fight as women, not just in the music industry. I'm pretty sure across the board women have the same issue, and it's annoying.
It is annoying. I think it might be the perception too, because you brought the line walk around metal detector. So do you think it's okay for a pregnant girl to be in the club?
My reason of no, because let's just say in the club, a lot of incidents happen. Yeah. Right. A lot of incidents break out. So you don't want to be somewhere where you might get knocked down or you might get hit in your stomach or something like that.
Well, if I'm there, nobody's gonna knock you down.
Well, first of all, I'm not speaking from an artist perspective because I'm gonna have security. I'm gonna be in my own section. I'm gonna be on the stage performing, and then I'm leaving. So, but I'm talking about as a regular person. Like I think you should always take into consideration your environment, and a lot of things do happen in the club. And then there's smoking in the club, there's stinky hookers, and they drinking in the club. So it's like I just think that is not really a cool environment. That is one of the things that I think can wait, just because it's a hazard.
It's a safety issue.
That's my one issue. But besides that,
that's the only thing. Yeah.
If you're going to like a spot where you know that it's like a different type of environment, then okay, like no, I don't feel like you should be on bed rest or confined to some dark room for 9 months. No, I don't.
A dungeon.
Right.
Pat, Remy, either one of you all could answer this question. I was talking to Vic Mensa over the weekend, and we had the conversation about old hip-hop and new hip-hop. Mm-hmm. And it seems to me like I look at other musical genres like rock. You don't see Green Day telling the Rolling Stones not to tour or sit their old asses down. Why do you think there's such a disconnect in hip-hop between younger artists and older artists, like the Little Xan incident where, he was like, Tupac, whatever, and everybody went in on him. But Why do you think there's that disconnect, and how can we bridge that gap between younger artists and older artists?
I think it's a lack of knowledge. You know what I mean? I think when an artist say something negative about a Tupac, like you mentioned, I just think because they don't know no better. When we was coming up, you really had to do your homework and you had to pass certain obstacles before you became an artist. You couldn't just turn on your laptop and boom, you're an artist.
Right.
So I just think it's a lack of knowledge, and sometimes it's an excuse. Like at one point in time, you couldn't just say, "Hey, you too old." Get out the game. You got to remove them out the game. You got to outwork them. So sometimes it'd be an excuse with certain young artists, like they can't really compete with the older guys, so they got to use that as an excuse, the age factor. That's just my personal opinion.
Some of it I think has to do with just us as a people. I feel like you mentioned rock and these other genres of music. They don't throw away their greats. You could take Rolling Stones or Springsteen or any of these people, Cyndi Lauper, and they sell out today. And with hip hop, for some reason, we don't respect our greats. We don't respect the people that came before us. And any other field, you look at basketball or football, they hold up the people that came before them, Hall of Famers. They put them in the Rock Hall of Fame and things like that. With hip hop, we don't have that. It's like, oh yeah, he was out in the 80s or he was out in the 90s, and that's out with the old and with the new. There's no level of respect. There's no pedestal that they're being placed on, which I feel they deserve to be. We should be able to get, Kane or some of these people, and they should be able to be held in the same regards because these are the pioneers of what we started. These other genres, they don't throw away their greats. You turn on the Country Music Awards, you'll see more of the older people performing than some of the younger people that are now, or they mesh them together. They'll put somebody that's
Reba McEntire will be out
with a
there
Taylor Swift, and they'll do a collaboration together. We don't do that, and I think that is a big part of the problem too with hip hop. We take our greats and we throw them away. We forget the accolades and the achievements that they accomplish, and it's not right.
I mean, I think
these artists need to realize, like 10 years, like not even 10 years from now, 5 years from now, if
everybody got a birthday, man.
They not
right. We call them OGs, like we gave them their respect. Now they call them old heads, so it's just disrespectful.
Well, old head is a term in Philly, but that's like an OG. In Philly, they'll say old head, but it's still the same thing as OG. Yeah, they kind of use that respectful.
Not in New York.
Not in New York.
Your old head in New York is bad.
Like, we gave OGs their respect.
You're right, got you.
Speaking of respect,
they demanded it.
Speaking of respect, I know that you've been vocal a lot recently just about camaraderie between other female artists in hip hop and being at a place of peace with other artists. And I've seen that you've even showed love to up and coming artists. Like in particular, I saw you had some good words to say about Rhapsody, and I've seen you building relationships and mending some relationships on Instagram with some other artists. So where are you in terms of you and other female artists?
I never really had any issues as far as musically with any females. I never was one of those people like, oh, I'm not doing a song with her, or I'm not I always was so, and still to this day, I'm so content in my own artistry and my craft. Like, I'm never gonna feel intimidated or feel like I'm lifting somebody up or I'm giving them a shot or they coming for me if I work with them. And it's just to the point where if you look. Somebody actually sent it to me about 2 weeks ago. I did an interview in 2007. And I was saying, like, how if I get in position, like, I want it to be so much more of us. Like, I don't want it to just be one. I don't want it to just be two. I feel like a lot of times they made us think it could only be one, max two. And if it's two, y'all better be going at each other's throats. Like, it wasn't always like that. It just came about that, like, I would say in the 90s, and then it changed into something else. I always said, if I get in position, I'm going to open the door. I'm going to put the door open. I'm going to put the stopper under, and I'm going to let everybody come in. And I feel like we're getting to see that now. When I came home, and people could say what they want. When I came home, there was no female rappers. I was not hearing them at all. Just a short couple of years ago. And I feel like once people saw that, okay, wait a minute, it could be more than one. Okay, I can rap about X, Y, and Z and still be my own person. I could dress like this, or I could be different and just be myself. And not just the artists themselves had to see it, the The fans had to see it. The execs, the people on radio, they had to see that, okay, wait, we can have other women. And since then, you've been able to see the Young and Mays and the Dej Loafs and the Rhapsodies. Rhapsody been doing what she been doing for years.
Yeah.
For years. Why have y'all not been paying attention to her?
Gray.
You know, Dreezy, all these people that they've been doing it, but it was this wall set up that if this wasn't what you was doing or if you wasn't that it person, we not even paying attention to you at all, period. And I love when I scroll down my timeline and I see all these different girls that are putting out music, that they're performing and they have their own fan base, and we're all different.
Yeah.
We're all different. When I did my performance last year and I brought everybody out, that was one of my goals, is that people could see like, yo, we could all be in the same building. We could all be in the same, from Queen Latifah, Light, Kim, Cardi, Young and May, Moni, all these different, Lady of Rage. I literally made these phone calls personally myself, and we all, when I tell you, it was not one bit of hate, one bit of jealousy, no envy in the building at all, and we all were fans of each other. Like if you'd have seen Young and May when she seen Queen Latifah, or you'd have seen Kim when she hadn't seen Light in so many years, you know, it was so cool and such a great feeling. And I was like, and then since then I've had people reaching out, they trying to put tours together. I did so many concerts since then with me and nothing but other females. We did a show in Atlanta about 2 weeks ago, sold out the whole Phillips Arena, and it was crazy. Nothing but females. So I think that it took somebody who was selfless and somebody who wasn't worried about what people was going to say to be like, look, this is what we're doing. And I hope that we see more of it.
Right.
So
let's talk about the album on the way. Well, this year, right? 7 winters, 6 summers.
Yes.
And the title was inspired by because I said jail yesterday, but your prison time.
Yes.
You said prison and jail are two different
They
things.
really are.
I was like, she was in jail. She said, no, I was
Bond out of jail.
Right. I had to tell her, I was like, Kendra, just a little different.
Yeah, you can holler down the hallway, turkey. I get my phone call.
Prison, you can't do that?
No.
You need to stay.
Just put your green outfit on. I don't know what color it is here, but in New York, it's your green outfit, and you good. That's it. Call it a day. They'll let you know when you leaving.
Yeah.
Right. But give the inspiration to the title. I mean, I've already asked you this question, but for those who don't know, why you named it 7 winters and 6 summers?
Because pretty much when I first got sentenced, I couldn't fathom counting in the years that they had given me. So when I got upstate, where they had me at in the woods, all you could see out my window was trees. So if it was green trees and it was 2010, I knew I had about 6 more times for the trees to turn green and I could leave. Like, all right, let me just watch these trees turn green 6 more times, I'm out of here. Or if it was 2013 and there was no branches, I'm like, bet 3 more branches going and I'm going. So by the time I was done, I had got out early, like a year and a half early, because I went to college and I got my associate's degree. And they took off some time off my sentence, and I ended up doing 7 winters and 6 summers, as opposed to 8 winters and 8 summers.
What's amazing to me is I remember sitting on the visiting floor with her, and she was maybe like 2 years in. She had to do a total of 7 years.
8.
And 8 years, my bad. And on the visiting floor is like a little yard you can go in, like if you want to go outside and get some air. If they allow you to go out on that particular day, I think certain days you can go into the yard. And I remember just seeing the trees with no leaves, and she was telling me like, yo, you know, the way how I monitor the time is I look at the trees, and if there's no leaves, I know it's winter. So just to hear her come home now and use that as an album title is so real, and it's crazy to me.
Yeah, God, I can't imagine doing what you did. And I know, people say everything happens for a reason, but that time that you had to spend away, like, do you regret anything from, things leading up to that?
I'm still not understanding the reason. I don't care what nobody say. Like, I know my heart, and I know, everything that happens. What people don't understand is that what you read in the newspaper, the newspaper can write anything they want. The blogs can post anything they want. There's no real, unfortunately, in my opinion, there's no real journalism nowadays. Nobody's out there really trying to search stories and see what's going on. All you got to take is somebody to DM them and be like, yeah, so happened, and they posting it like it's a story. They do clickbait. They post certain things so that it seems like, so titles that'll make you click on it. So when I came home, I was like, you know what? I'm not even arguing what happened, what didn't happen, what really happened. Like, I did the time already. It don't even matter. Like, at this point, I don't even care no more. Think what you want to think. This is what it is, and this is who I am. But there are times when I sit back like, yo, I really had 7 whole years of my life just taken away.
Yeah.
I went to jail. I was 25. I was 25 when I quit that case. 25 going on 26. I came home in my early 30s. I was pissed. I still be pissed, even though things are going great and I have a wonderful life and I have a wonderful family. Every now and then I look back like, yo, I could have did so much in that time. And people don't realize that everybody that went to prison is not guilty, or everybody that went to prison is not guilty of what they say they did. Do you think every single time every cop got it right, every jury got it right, every judge got it right in the history of the judicial system? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The same way everybody that's walking around in these streets, that's sitting next to us on the train or walking past us, is not innocent. They just ain't get caught. So, I try to explain to people like that. But as far as me going into details like, well, this is what really happened, I don't even care. Like, here, everybody who wanted money, they got their money. Everybody who wanted to see me away, they got that. And now, what happened? I'm sitting here still talking to y'all with an album coming. My husband's still here. My family's still good. My bank account is fantastic. Like, so you did all of that for what? Like, all of that to say what? But I can say out of all that, I met some really great people. Like, most of my friends are people that I met in prison. Like, and the people that I grew up with and knew for years, I don't even really deal with them like that because there's a disconnect. So many years went by. I don't know their kids. I don't know anything. There was no like real contact being made, no effort being made. And now it's like, I'll be a fool if I come home now and I'm just like, hey, everything's fine. Let's go. Like, I can't be that fake. Like, if I don't like you, I don't rock with you. Like, you'll know. I can't even hide it. I'm not one of those people. Like, even if I don't say anything, because I kind of learned to control my mouth a little bit, my facial expression, like, it'd be crazy. You know how many times Pap had to tap me like, babe? I'd be like, nostrils flared, turned up, my bad. But like I've met some really good people, and I know that they're my friends, and they're there for me because of me, not because of who they think I am or what I can offer. Because I ain't have none of that when I was in jail. I mean, they knew I had it at some point, but you can't have none of that in jail. No cars, no trips, no backstage passes, none of that. And these is people that was risking whatever little bit of freedom we did have, because I stayed in trouble. They'd be sneaking, making calls to Pat for me, sliding food under my door because I done got in trouble, and now I'm like can only eat mess hall food. Like it was crazy. But those are the people that I rock with now.
I love it. I love it. So now we know Pap is your husband and he's so supportive. But you're working on, you have a song, or are you working on music right now?
Yeah, I'm actually working on a project. I got a song out that's actually doing real good on my side of the planet. It's called Underrated. Underrated, yeah. Underrated, yeah. We shooting a video real soon. You know what I mean? So I got to get it to y'all.
Yeah,
over here in Chicago.
I'm still riding around the building, destroyed, bang, bang. There's a monster on that joint. Hey, real quick, when she was talking about her time, now as men, Cal's married, and I'm married too. As men, you the protectors and the providers of our women, know, in the family. What was it like for you, being her confidant, keeping her hair straight while she was on the inside? How did you keep your hair straight? Because that's got to be tough. Your ladies on the inside, and I know there's probably been deep conversations where I miss home, I miss you, I miss being outside, and that's got to get to you. Even though it's tough exterior, Pap, I don't never see you smile that much, but that's got to hurt you on the inside, knowing that there's nothing really you could do to help her ease her pain. How did you deal with that stress those years she was gone?
I put myself last. I was worried about her. She was the one who was incarcerated. I was in the free world, so I just made that sacrifice and made sure that I put her first. But it's interesting what you said about at times it was deep conversations when she was saying I miss home and things like that. Was the hardest part.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Sometimes I would talk to her and she would say things like that, and to be honest, I would hang up. I would talk to her a certain way and keep a certain composure. But when I hang up, I would punch the wall because I couldn't do nothing to help her. So all I could do was, and that was at the time when they banned me from visiting her for a little while. So we had a lot of ups and downs. But to answer your question, I just put my wife first, and that's all I cared about. I didn't worry about myself.
I need the clap. We need the applaud. We need the cheer. We give away prizes. Can you play the applause, please? Can you play the applause? Because seriously, Pap, I love how much you hold Remy down. I mean, obviously you're Remy, so I know you love it. But what I love for it is you're the example that it can be done by men, because men I'm tired of every guy is a dog and you're supposed to expect the guy to cheat on you and not to be there for you. But y'all change that whole stigma. You make it cool to be in a relationship and to be by your girl and to be supportive. Like, I love that, for real.
See, but the thing is, you know, and I love my husband to death, and I feel he deserves all the praise that he gets, because he is an amazing husband. He's very supportive and he's a stand-up dude. But I be trying to explain to people that, like, it's because I'm so dope. And I'm so ill that it made him want to do all that for me. Like, I don't really be putting it out there. I just let him get on the crazy.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question. I see the black love, but let me ask you a question, because I had this little thing that I do at home when wifey in my ear chirping too much. I say I'm about to take out the trash, which means I'm about to go to Hooters and have a drink. Do you have your, I'm about to take out the trash? Like, all right, Remy, I'm about to go walk the dog.
Well, Matt, you know, as you know, you've been married. You guys are married. Marriage is all about sacrifice and compromise. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to give your significant other that space. Because the sun don't shine every day.
Right.
You know, sometimes it rains, sometimes that sun is shining. So sometimes we all have bad moods. Okay. And you have to understand that and give them that space.
That is not what he asked you. That's not what he asked you.
You know what? I'm about to go take the trash out.
We're about to have one of them moments right now.
I'm going to tell y'all like this.
He be like, his thing is, I ain't going to the gym. He ain't going to the gym. Don't sit here and lie.
All right. Since you want to say stuff now, let's keep it real. And she can vouch for this. One of my number one rules in my marriage since the beginning, since we got married, is what?
I don't argue with my wife.
You don't argue with his wife?
I don't argue with my wife.
So she's always right.
And I try my best to stick by it. At times, I try my best.
I'm glad, because I was going to let him hang himself.
I like that you said that, though, because I always felt like, and this is me just thinking of how things should be. Not always perfect, but I always felt like, if I'm in a relationship where I'm constantly arguing, maybe this isn't the relationship I should be in. Like, I never want to be in.
It's not even that. Let me explain something to you. When you walk down that aisle and you agree to those wedding vows, you need to listen to them. And during your marriage, when it gets rough, remind yourself to have and to hold sickness and health, richer for poor, to honor, respect, to death do us part. So you have to honor, respect, and understand that person. You can't get mad and say, hey, I want a divorce. Why did you ever get married if you plan on getting a divorce? Marriage is final. To death do us part. I would have never got married if I plan on getting divorced. So I just think that people use certain things as a back door or as an excuse to get out of what they agreed before God to.
What's your zodiac sign, Pap? What's your zodiac sign? I'm only dating Pisces. Only Pisces.
I got a question, Pap. You said walk down the aisle. What if you went to City Hall?
It's the same thing, brother.
$20. He didn't say all that. It's the
same thing, man.
Before y'all get out of here, we started to go down the path of the album. When can we expect it?
This summer, definitely. The album is pretty much done. I just still be working because I still got time. So as long as I still got breath and studios available to me, I'm going to just get in there and bang out things. So I've had songs that was on there. I was like, all right, I'm going to take this one out. I'm going to put this one in. Or I'll have a different idea and I'll tweak certain things. But the album's done. I have a record that I'm about to release with A Boogie called Company. We shot the video. It's kind of dope. I got some other songs that I'm pretty much gonna shoot a visual for every song on the album, even though I'm sure the label's like, well, we're gonna cover this, but when you got that bag, it's okay. You're like, I just pay for them myself. But you guys will thank me later. But the album's coming out really good, and I think everyone's gonna love it, and it's much needed.
Before you go, you mentioned visuals, the Chris Brown visual, and how important it was for you to have girls of our complexion. Because me and Remy, I might be darker than you. I'm a little darker. Yeah, I'm a little, but we part of the brown skin girl movement, and it was important that you had brown skin girls in this video.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel it started with a conversation that the song itself, I had posted a picture, and I looked really cute in the picture, in my personal opinion.
So modest.
What I did, like you know, you look at a picture, you're like, maybe not this one. But this one was like, this is a good flick. And somebody was in my comments like, you know what? They was serious. It wasn't even like I don't even think they was trying to be nasty. It was like, I think she would be really pretty if she wasn't so dark skinned. And wow. I was like, so after I wrote the comment back mad times, because I was about to just flame them and then block them, I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna say nothing. I erased everything because it was so foul. Like, it was so disrespectful. I like really violated them. But I started talking. I was talking to my friends about it, and they were like, "Yeah, it's this silent war between light skinned girls and dark skinned girls." I'm like, "Really? Like, this is news to me. I don't know." Yeah. So, we started looking up different things, and we were Googling things, and it's so crazy because it's something not just in the African American culture. You know, if you go in Dominican Republic, Mexico,
Puerto
Brazil,
Rico, all these places,
India, all the different places where there's a spectrum with of the same people, but you know, some are light, some are in the middle, some are a little bit darker. You have this thing where people who are of the darker complexion get treated a certain way. And it's just so crazy to me. Even when you look at the different platforms, you look at the news anchors, or you look at the spokespeople or the endorsements, they pick a certain look. Right. You look at some of the top artists, whether it's R&B or whatever, they all have this particular look, the big ones. Very rarely do you get someone that's like a Lauryn Hill that's darker and she wears her little afro or her dreads or whatever she had going, and they make it really big. And I was just like, you know what? This is crazy. I've started seeing people that I've known my whole life. You go on their page and you look in their bio and they name it all these. I guess they did the Ancestry.com or something, and they're like Polish and Trinidadian and Malaysian. Like, miss, I've known you and your whole family your whole life. Y'all are black. Stop it. Like, people had this fixation with being exotic or whatever the case may be, and men too. Even if you go in some of the clubs, and it's crazy, you talk to some of the girls that are bottle girls or strippers, and they're like, you know, if you anything darker than caramel and you not making no money. When certain artists come in, the big artists, they won't even put you in the section where you can make money. You have to look a certain way and be a certain complexion. And I was just tired of it. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take this opportunity and do what I want to do. I had all the whole color scheme of the video was tans and browns. I want to be in a chocolate, a Hershey syrup. I want everybody to look like me or darker. Like, I want somebody that's purple. I couldn't find one. But I because when you look through these, they have lookbooks that you look through when you're trying to find people to be, and I'm just like, this is crazy. You just look like the same person in a different outfit with a different color hair, and it's to the point now, and it's crazy because now people are starting to notice it, and people are starting to speak. People been noticing, but people weren't vocal about it. Right. The actresses who weren't getting roles because they didn't look like what a certain part, but every script is written for the lead girl to look like this. Every video is written so the lead girl looks like this, and it's just to the point now when you have movies like Wakanda coming out.
That is why Black Panther was important.
Yes. And you get to see how we have talent. There is magic in our melanin, and that was the reasoning behind all of that.
Right. Well said.
Good job with it.
I love you so much. I love you so much, Remy. I really do. I think you are a breath of fresh air. We love your genuineness, and we will be getting the album.
That's right.
Yes. You know, you are the epitome of a black girl that rocks, and I'm just so happy for you.
And you got bars.
Yes.
I mean, we'll give you a lot of piece of paper, like. My pen works.
Other than anything you've written or Papoose written, what's your favorite line at hip hop? Like, if you have a line that you know.
A favorite line.
When somebody you heard that bar and was like for me, it's Ghost on Mighty Healthy. When he say hit mics like Ted Koppel, rifle expert, let off the Eiffel, burn a flag in your grass, spiteful. I was like, okay. I stopped the car, got out, my life, and then got back in and played it again. Okay. You have anything like that hit you like that?
I'm gonna let Pap go first. I'm sure it's a pun line, but it's so many of them. Like pun was one of those, like
Little
smack
did
your
we know.
forehead and off the board head. I'm so many different rhymes. Like I never listened to nothing. My mother's there's so many different pun rhymes that's going through my thing. Like pun was so crazy when I met him and that he loved me and he was the one that gave me my shot because he was responsible for my rewind button being broken on all my radios and Walkmans because he would say some of the craziest things and be like smack your baby while he potty training. Like, oh my gosh, like why would you do that? Like what?
All right, well, we thank you guys for being here today. Continued success with everything that you're doing. We're definitely looking forward to the album.
Thank you.
And we can't wait to hear what you got cooking up, man. We're looking forward
hold on,
to
I ain't
it.
tell my favorite line yet.
What's you thinking?
What's yours, Pat?
Biggie. When Biggie said, it's hard being raised in the slums, eating fasa and gums, not knowing where your meal's coming from.
Mine is, I sneeze on tracks and bless you. I'm special. And if you like working out, then I'm going to stretch you. He sneezed on the track and bless you, my nigga. Come on.
There it is,
I
Chicago. Remy Ma, Papoose hanging out with the Chicago Morning Takeover. We definitely appreciate both of y'all. Thank you very much, man. That's what it is. And good looking out.